What up, it's your boy ZTY Toon, and this is Palm Care. Toon. ZTY, you already know. YBN. TNBF, Zoo Crew, gang. 2 Cubans on my... So I'm watering it today, and I'm just gonna give y'all some tips real quick on just showing y'all when you water it. First, pour a little bit of water in it and just like pour it around the center first. Get the center nice and soaked, because if you just pour a whole bunch of water in directly, it's just gonna go to the edges, it's gonna seep down the edges, and you're not gonna soak the middle of your pot. You're just gonna be soaking the outside. So you wanna go ahead and make sure you literally soak the middle first, and once it starts draining in the middle, then work your way out. And then once you see it's just like completely draining all over, then you just fill the whole pot up with water. Do that like 3 or 4 times. That way it's completely drenched. All right, so once it's completely drenched, just go ahead and fill it all the way up with water. You know, once you start seeing it's drenched, and what you'll do when you fill it up, you'll start to see little air bubbles. You probably won't see a lot anymore right now because I've done this already like 4 times. This is the 4th time I've done it. But you see these little air bubbles popping all over the place? When you first do this a couple times, you'll start to see a lot of them. You'll be like, brrr, brrr, there'll be like a lot of little air bubbles. But then once you start to see it like not bubbling too much, that means all the air pockets are full and you're good to go. And now you just gotta let that seep in there and drain through. Draining into the bucket. Now I put probably, there's this bucket right here. I put maybe 2 of these in this just now, or 1.5, I'd say 1.5. So, cause there's still water in there, and then the first one I used, it wasn't full. So I used 1.5 buckets today to really soak her. To really get her soaked. And you see, you know, the drainage isn't that great. That's probably because there's a lot of water sitting in the pot right now, because you don't hear it too much. You hear it dripping a little bit in there. But there's probably a lot of water in the bucket right now, so it's probably just sitting and slowly trying to drain out, because I poured a lot of water in this today. But as you see, it's not bubbling too much no more, and that's what you want to see. You don't want to see bubbling. All right, so it took it about 2 minutes total for it to finally, for all the water to cease finally into it. And now she's just gonna go ahead and drain out. And you want to make sure your drain is draining nice and good. Let's see here. Make sure it's draining nice and wet. We got nice drainage on that. Look at that. Perfect drainage right out the pot. No problems. No mess. No spills, just cleanliness. Look at that water coming out of the pot. And you see the water that's going in, the water is clear. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Make sure you guys are distilling your water. I've definitely probably said this a few times, but please make sure you're distilling your water. Because if you're not distilling your water, what's gonna end up is you're just gonna put a lot of salts, you're putting a lot of chlorine, you're putting a lot of chemicals that your plant does not need nor want. She's doing really good lately. She's doing really great lately. She's doing perfect. I'm loving the way she is doing right now, guys. I can't even lie. She's doing real good. So just keep doing these tips I'm telling you guys. Make sure you're watering thoroughly. Make sure you're actually, like I'm saying, make sure you're actually drenching your soil, because there's going to be little pockets of air that the water's not getting to. And that's going to be where roots are, or roots are going to try to end up making their way to that spot, and it's dry and they're not going to like it and they're going to end up dying. So make sure when you are watering your plants, once every week and a half, 8 to 10 to 12 days, however big your pot is, however much soil, however resistant your soil is. If your soil is water resistant, it's just going to drain. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, or not water resistant. If your soil is holding water retentive, I guess the word is. If your soil is holding water, let's just do this. If your soil is holding water, you're going to go ahead and water it less. If your soil is not holding water and it's just draining, you're going to want to water it a little bit more. Depends on how hot it is in your spot. It depends on how humid it is in your spot. There's just a lot of technical little things that you have to dial in. You can't just be like, this plant grows perfectly in this climate and this, that. No, because it all depends on where you are in your situation. So I keep my humidifier going. As you guys see, my humidifier going right there. Humidifier going. Always going. And then also another tip I want to tell you guys too, mist it in the morning. Try misting in the morning. Early midday morning. I'm about to mist it right now. Actually, this is what I was going to do too. But when you mist your plants, I wanted to mist it on camera for you guys. When you're misting your plants, guys, make sure you're not doing it at night. If you miss your plants at night, the moisture, when there's like no light, if you're missing your plant and there's no light, let's just put it that way. If you're missing your plant and there's no light, what you're going to end up doing is causing little, like, I don't know what it is, but your plants don't like being moist when there's no light. They can't photosynthesize properly. The water just sits on the foliage, and yeah, like, it's not that great. So you want to water more so in the morning. Water more so in the early mornings to early afternoons. Just at night when the sun is setting is not the best idea time to mist your plants. I'm telling you right now, I mist my plant probably every other day, if not every day a little bit. Sometimes, like, if I just missed it yesterday, sometimes I'll just go ahead and, you know, just mist it the next day, just a little bit in the morning, you know, just depending how dry it feels in my room, you know, in the apartment, you know. So you just gotta make sure your plant is very happy. My plant, very happy. I take very good care of my plant. So this plant is doing awesome, as you can see. And then my new one is starting to split. It's starting to split right there. You can see the new one starting to split as well. But yeah, you just want to make sure when you're misting it, and see, I have her high up right now because I have her standing on this to be able to, for the water to drain, but into the bucket. But you just want to make sure you're getting way up there, get the middle, make sure you're getting the new growth. New growth loves the moisture. Make sure you're getting that new growth. And I miss my plant a lot. I probably use, if not a whole bottle, I use probably 75%, if not 80% of the bottle when I'm misting my plants for the first time in the day. And I try to get way up there. And then sometimes I just shoot the mist in the air above the plant. And just let the, arm getting tired, hold on. Let me switch arms. All right, but sometimes I just spray it in the air. And it just, you know, I just let it drip on the plant. I do have carpet. Don't worry about your carpet getting moist, guys. Your carpet is, like, I don't know if you noticed, when you got your shower, you go into your room, your carpet gets moist. Like, when you walk on carpet, it gets moist. So this is water, this is clean water. So a little bit of drips of clean water getting on your floor, nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. If anything, you're cleaning the carpet at that moment. You're airing it out a little bit. I try getting the bottom, I try getting inside here, right here. Oops, I got you a little bit. Oh, the lid popped off. Hold on, we got some technicalities going on. I can edit all this out. All right, I try getting the bottom right here, guys. I try spraying the base a lot. We already got a water. Try spraying the base, making sure the base is all moist. But yeah, she's all good to go. She's dripping. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the rest of this water up, mine as well. But yes, sir. Oh, mist does get everywhere. Sometimes it gets over here on my little table, gets on my couch over here, over there, and all that stuff, you know. But it happens, you know. It happens. And since I keep my room really humid, I've had to keep my cards, all my cards, in like protective cases. I can't keep cards out no more. Every card has to be in like a protective case because of, you know, all the ones I'm selling and stuff. They all have to stay in protective cases because there's just so much humidity in this room. We gotta keep it that way. And then let's check out let's check this guy out. How are you doing today, corn plant? People like you. People want to see how you're doing all the time. So you got some fans, corn plant. You were doing well. You were doing lovely. I went ahead and spun it around. When you last saw it, it probably was facing this. It was facing this way. So I spun it just that way a little bit. You got to rotate your plants. You can't give favors to one side because, as you can see, I kind of did that for a second. And you can kind of see this side is bigger than this side because this side was facing this way a little bit longer. So we're gonna give some love to this side and have it grow out this way a little bit more. You know, showing love to all the plants. I saw a corn plant at an office the other day that was probably like 7 feet tall. It was stupid tall, and it had like 5 corn plants, like all, like, had a top one, it had like different canopy ones. And I was like, yo, that is a beautiful corn plant. Like, it looked just as healthy as mine. I even like had to look at it like, is that a real? I need to miss my corn plant too. But I had to look at theirs like, is that real? Like, it looks too healthy. You can always tell a non-real plant, by the way, because a non-real plant won't have like cuts. A non-real plant won't have browning on it. Like, they make non-real plants look perfect, which that's how you can tell. So I was like, damn, they're doing good jobs on that kind of stuff. They also had this like kind of stuff in the pot around here. I still need to update this to be like this. I'm going to do that soon, guys. Don't worry. How close are we on that? We're getting pretty close. But I'm going to update this to be like that. So it's going to be up in, you know, in a pot. Probably actually going to do that. I should probably do that today. Yeah, I'm going to add that to this video. So I'm not going to upload this video yet. I'm going to just go ahead and get that pot real quick today and do all that real quick to make this all jazzed up, to make this guy all happy. Have him sit up a little bit higher too. But yes, sir. All right, I went to the store and picked up another pot, another bucket, and another pot. So we're gonna go ahead and make a stand like that for this guy. Go ahead and go back and watch parts 1 and 2. If you don't know how to make the drain system, the parts 1 and 2 will teach you how to make the drain system for these. We're gonna go ahead and do that right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like magic. Voila. All right, so we went ahead and got this one repotted, and it is, you see all the water seeping down. See, it's finding them holes. It's finding them gaps. Filled it up, flooded it, it's finding them gaps. We got drainage. Corn plant has been repotted. Looking nice. And obviously it's not gonna be sitting on top of that. That's just what I use to stand it on top of there. But I went ahead and repotted it. Got the pot just like this one. So this one's sitting on the same pot as this one is. Palm tree. Looking so beautiful. I went ahead and moved the bonsai up here as well. I just felt like it was lonely downstairs, because now I just have the orchid downstairs. So it was just by itself with the orchid and the, yeah, that's it. So I was like, I need to come up here with these guys. So, got this one right here, looking all beautiful. And then I have that all looking all good. This is my setup. Cool little setup, you dig? This is my office. I wouldn't say setup, this is my office. Yeah. Drain down. Nice and sturdy now. At first it was a little loopy. This one's super sturdy. Super sturdy. Alright, so it's just gonna drain out now. I went ahead and bought 2 new buckets. I bought a new watering bucket and a new draining bucket because I needed a draining bucket, because I ended up using like the watering bucket to store more water in. Because now instead of just having 1 bucket sitting in distilling, I have 2 buckets sitting in distilling and then 1 bucket sitting in with air and water pumping through it. So that way I constantly have a flow of water, because I was running out of water between the plants, the humidifier, the spray bottle, you know, all that. I was just running out of water for everything. So, and I don't like using the tap water here because it's really harsh. So I was just running out of water. So I'm using 2 distilling waters, but just sitting it for 24 hours. And then I transfer 1 bucket into this bucket that's sitting underneath, and the sink, and they're bubbling with the air pump. So yeah, that way I just have a constant flow of just nice, untreated water. This is gonna drain here. This looks like it's draining very slow. It is. So again, remember like I told you, if it's draining really slow, just go ahead and blow into it, and then blow. Clear that line out, because there's gonna be a lot of soil. That loose soil that first comes down, it's gonna be a lot of that. And then after you water it a few times, then you won't have that no more, because the soil will go ahead and settle. All right, we got a better drainage right there. You hear it still dripping in there. Here's still dripping. All right, so here she is after a couple days. I started the video on Sunday. I kind of got busy yesterday, Monday. Today's Tuesday, and it's been a couple days since I repotted it, and it's doing very, very well. Very, very well. Has not even changed, hasn't flinched. Didn't look like it even noticed it got repotted. Nice and happy. Something I noticed when I did repot the corn plant is that their root system is very small. They do not have a giant root system. it was kind of weird because when I pulled that one out, it was like just a stick. It was weird. I was like, "Where's your roots?" Like, it had like a little bit of roots around it. So these things have basically no root system. Very small. I'm pretty sure eventually they'll start to develop one. And you can see originally the soil kit was here, and when I repotted it, I put it down here because they're like, this roots were just way down there. It was just crazy. So I went ahead and just like repotted it properly to my advantage. It's not wiggly. The first like couple minutes before I rewatered it, it was super wiggly, like it almost wanted to fall over. But after I watered it and everything, it like kind of just settled in. This is how it is after y'all saw all that go down with the bubbling and everything. But yeah, she's doing lovely. And Majestic doing as well. Always lovely, always equally lovely. I love this palm. Doing so well, so well. So that's the end of it. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna do them every 2 weeks. I'm gonna eventually do a Q&A because if people have questions that I haven't really answered yet, I can go ahead and answer it on there. So if you have any questions or anything, just go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll do like a questions and answers little seg where I'll just like do a 5-minute where I'm just answering questions real quick. If you guys have any questions, appreciate it.